Representative Honorable Mona Pena, we're discussing women issue, know about women's participation in national politics, specifically in the legislature. What do you think Representative Mona Pena can do to improve the welfare of women in Liberia?
In my view, I represent my constituents, and I am telling what I want. It is not the lecture here. It is not a discussion on a Pena. We are discussing. It is not a lecture. Even if it's a breakthrough, but I'm saying the salaries of the teachers are very low. And I do believe the minimum salary of a government school teacher, we're talking around $7,000 Liberian dollars. And that's why bribery is very high in our schools. We are complaining about WAEC results. At the end of the day, how do we get the results that we want if we don't have the qualified instructors so we can pay them?
To please accept the 3 days. We gave her the benefit of the doubt that after the 3 days, then she yield to our request. Then in that case, I think if we want to take any decision, we can take it. But I'm appealing to you people because we know that we all have sisters and brothers. We have families.
That's how it is, especially in the legislature. When you hear you got very few women in the legislature, sometimes they try to mount the debate to get their points through, and then sometimes they feel denied. But Honorable Pena, we say once more, welcome again to Insight.
Thank you very much.
You've been in the legislature probably near 7 months now. You people are actually going for recess by choice. How is the legislature?
Well, I will say it's a wonderful place, and I want to use this opportunity to say thanks to the people of District Number 9 for giving me such an opportunity to be at the highest level of government, which is the legislature. Wonderful place. The challenges are many. The experience is very, very overwhelming.
Why you call it the highest place? How you say that?
Yeah, because it's the first branch of government. You know, the name honorable separates you from the people.
Okay.
They have placed you at another level. So getting there is not an ordinary thing. When the people in majority come together and decide your fate, that's the only way you see yourself in the chambers of the legislature. Sitting a part of the plenary is not an ordinary thing. Yeah.
So being in the legislature so far, what have you seen 7 months down the line?
Well, I come to realize and to see government in a different sense, governance, because when you sit on the fence and not understanding leadership, not understanding the functions of the various branches of government, and you get into the legislature, you come to realize that the power and the breath and life of the nation lies in the hands of the legislature. The way they conduct the affairs of their day-to-day activities determine the growth, the security, the hope for the people. So I'm saying to say that I have come to realize that there's so much power in the legislature.
You think that power is being used wisely?
Yes, for now I understand that the power has been used wisely in the interest of the people that have given us the opportunity to serve.
And there are times though we hear from the public, and probably you yourself you sometimes hear the public. Sometimes you people make decisions in the legislature, and there's this public outcry, the public condemnation.
Yes, you like for example the passage of the democratic sustainability bill.
Yeah.
You listen to the people. I think Liberia as a nation, we are part of the global village. We are part of the Committee of Nations. Supporting democracy with public funding, sustainability of political party is a best practice around the world. And if Liberia must regain her status among the Committee of Nations, I do believe that all of these best practices must be seen in our country's
But
day
people
to
don't see it like that, though.
Yes, because we have a growing nation.
Okay.
We are just coming from war. So all of these things would be a little bit too new to the people. It left with the public relations arm of the legislature to adequately inform, explain, make it more explicit for the people to understand why we are saying this, because we are tired with financiers of political party. Because at the end of the day, you find out that you don't have a voice in a political party because one man becomes the central bank of the party.
But probably what is actually people are raising eyebrows about that bill. I think probably the reason is, one of the reasons is you pass the bill that is supporting political parties pretty close to something around $2.5 million annually, and then when you went through the budget, you said you discovered I think little over 20 million, and you got that free money and you put it to other issues, and then when it came to civil servant salary, it didn't increase salary.
Well, yes, civil servant salaries were not increased because at the position of the finance minister, according to the Committee on Ways, Means and Finance, that we were trying to allocate money so that the hydro can be able to start working, so that electricity the rehabilitation of the hydro. So there has to be a sacrificial point within the budget.
So do that on civil servant. You want the civil servant to sacrifice?
Well, it's not so much about the civil servant. Change does not come easy. Change comes with some challenges, and once you can accept these challenges, then the change come and stay.
I always heard people say there's no pain without gain. Okay, now entering the legislature for you, is it a dream come true? You ever thought about one day becoming a lawmaker, especially as young as you are?
No, never. I never thought.
How did you get there?
Well, I got there through the power and the vote of the people of District Number 9. I never thought I would ever become a politician, because every time I was interviewed as an entertainer, a model, I would say models are not politicians. When I asked me
contested for the presidency, as you can see,
that was where my political desire started. When some group of young guys on the University of Liberia campus saw that the ability was being wasted so much into entertainment and having been seen relevant.
Well, look at that entertainment aspect, like before the legislature.
Yes, so at a particular point in time, I decided to take the bold step. They say, you have the power, you're not understanding that the ability is there. And when I tried the senior class election, I tell you, I never saw myself as a loser for the fact that I went against all those strong men. And I think student politics is not an ordinary game, especially at the University of Liberia. You got to understand your grade points, your setting, your interactions with teachers before you can even think about engaging into student politics. Because if you have dirt in your closet, these things will surface at the level.
About that by actually getting in that race, I actually gave you the mind to actually, when the people ask you in District 9 to contest for the representative seat, it actually gave you the might to go after you.
Yes, I felt my closet was clean enough to enter international politics.
Okay, now, life before the legislature, let's get to some of the real issues. Life before the legislature as compared to just what you were trying to talk about when you were in the entertainment business. How was it like now as compared to what you're doing now? You see a difference?
Well, yes, there's so much difference. The legislature comes with professionalism.
Okay.
It comes with so much effort into your competency. It comes with earnesty. Like, what is it that you can give? It comes with so much passion. More like entertainment is just a few seconds and everybody gone. So yesterday I felt, what can I give to my country as a young woman? And I felt this particular industry that I find myself, I had the height, the physical look, the body proportion, and everything was there in place. And I felt within myself I could use my image as an instrument to bring proud to my country. But then at a particular point in time, I found out that society was still not giving you attention, the necessary.
You wanted, you were not really getting it.
Yes, because if I went out of Liberia, immediately I passed the Rabat International Airport, I become a different person. people walking up to me for autograph, photographer running after me. But when I come home, I feel like I'm nothing. And so at a particular point in time, out of frustration.
Is it that Liberians don't have interest in entertainment or what?
Well, it's not really about entertainment. It's about this thing. If it is not me, it must not be you. It's that attitude. Why it must always be her. Why it is not me. If it is not me, it must not be the next person. What I do believe, if it is not me, I must be able to support that person to get there, so the person can be able to help me to get to where I want to get to. I think that has been the problem.
And now, since you actually forgot about that, now you're in the legislature, you see a difference in your life?
Yes, seriously.
Giving you much attention.
Well, I have all of the attention because I represent the life, the interests. You understand, the aspiration of the people is in my hands, and I have to deliver the deliverables as I said to them during the period of campaign. Give me the opportunity, I will be accessible. Give me the opportunity, I will be a people's person. Give me the opportunity. These basic social services that you are lacking, I will not be able to give you physical fundings, but with the power vested in me as your legislator, I will be able to speak to the appropriate institutions that are responsible for these basic social services to make sure that you have them.
What do you make of this debate? Let's open the debate like this now. There's men in politics versus women in politics.
Well, I tell you, our society is a little bit insensitive to gender issues. Yeah. You can see sometimes we try to fight our way, and everything I stand up to talk about, I say you need to be gender sensitive. You know, I always talk about gender sensitivity.
You think women in the legislature are marginalized?
Well, we are not marginalized. I think that we just need to become more, forceful and put up more force and let them know that we actually exist. And that's why sometimes when I try to fight for attention on the floor, yes, and I tell them that, look, I'm trying to be the little, rebellious here, but I have to find my way through in pushing up my point, because I represent a group of people, and when I speak on behalf of my people, so my people's views need to be heard. So sometimes I go across the line. On a Pelham, you need to sit down.
Like the debate, and the teaser played, it had to do with a debate about people were trying to debate about Buffer Chambers raised an issue about the welfare of teachers, and for him he said teachers were making low salaries, and you were trying to push what Dr. Chambers brought before the plenary, and I heard Sopena say you also running a school, and he wanted to know from you, how much do you pay your teachers?
Well, you see, my school in a different sense, even though it's a private school, but I think I've been buttressing government efforts, because for the past 11 years, my school fees have never increased. I still at the same point, and this is the reason why I always call on the Ministry of Education to see reason to give J.J. Ross subsidies, because if you look at our record years back, you will find out that we haven't increased our salary, so we haven't increased the tuition, so we've been having difficulties in the same thing with the teachers' salary, which we are actually working on in making sure that our teachers' salary be increased so that our competent teachers cannot leave the singing.
Let's listen to one of your debates, and then I will bring up something to your attention.
I don't want to believe that the chamber should have even accommodated Madam Mirepro when in fact she was never a constitutional product.
I don't want you to say that the position of Mirepro acting as mayor is not in violation. It is in violation.
From whence does Madam Bro derive her power to serve and to levy taxes against the Liberian people? I therefore appeal to your collective wisdom that this plenary seek to do what is morally and constitutionally right. We must call upon the President of Liberia, Madam Sully, to withdraw or revoke the nomination of Madam Bro. And if she still believes that Bro needs to serve the Liberian people, let her re-nominate her. so that she will face the Senate's confirmation, and if confirmed, then now she has the acquiescence of the Liberian people to serve. Because governance must be based upon the consent of the governed.
We too should take notice that during the budgetary period, it will be incriminating for us again to form the city corporation, honor the stewardship of ones who don't have the constitutional blessing.
I would like to agree with Honorable Mother. This time around, since Honorable Gabriel Buchanan-Smith have brought to the knowledge of all of us that indeed we have been mistaken. Even in recent time when Madam Mary Brough came here, the chamber should have even accommodated Madam Mary Brough when in fact she was never a constitutional product.
I don't want us to just focus on Mayor Brough. We should generalize this city mayor business and include the 15 counties for discussion and see the way forward, whether they be reappointed or wait until 2014 for elections.
Mayor Brough's present at the city corporation currently is not on the president's appointment. She acts as the chair of the city council of Monrovia.
It's not only Mary Brough. There's a wake-up call, BA, the city of Swedru.
I tried to play that teaser from one of your debates on the issue of Mary Brough. The reason I played, if you listen to in the teaser, I heard only two women, you and Josephine Joyce Francis, who happens to be the chairperson for the Women Caucus. Now, out of the plenary, what I see happening is that both of you women don't talk in the session.
Well, for me, it is not how many times you talk matters to me. It's what relevant and what substantial about your output or your argument. Because some of the issues that come on the floor does not need all of the debates that come along with it, because you found out that some just need to be sent into committee room for committee to do.
Yeah, but you people, especially in the women legislators, especially from the House, you people are just few. I think probably you got Josephine Joy Francis, got Gertrude Lame,
Mary,
you got Mary Kawa,
Mala,
Mala,
yes,
and Marima Fofana,
and Haja Sayon, and
Kopo Barkley. Yeah. So probably you people are less than 10, and that's about 74, 73.
Yeah, 73.
Yeah, and the women less than 10. So people expect that the few women in the legislature should be making more impact than what is actually happening.
Well, I think in my understanding, I speak from my own opinion.
Yeah.
I think because a lot of the women, majority of the women now in the legislature are new. So understanding the environment and trying to sink into the terrain. So they are, sitting there and watching.
It takes some time.
Yes. That's what if you ask me for my honest opinion, that what I will be saying to you. But nevertheless, we are going for break. What shall we be back? I can tell you that for sure.
Are you coming back with a new challenge?
Well, we'll be coming back with a new technique.
Okay.
The strategy now, we have understand the entire terrain, how things work, and you can now come back.
Coming to challenge the men on the floor.
Of course, you will be coming with some very sensitive bills and issues that need to be propounded. We will go into the nitty-gritty of the issues that will come on the floor.
Yeah, because for us legislative reporters, some of us who've been having the opportunity to do gender-sensitive reporting, we are always questioned by our editors when we bring stories in the newsroom. They want to know if we ever spoke with a lady who is in the legislature. So sometimes if you watch up in the plenary when the woman is speaking, you see the microphones all headed for that end, because we try to give voice. The media is there to give voice to everyone. Yeah, but now on the issue of women demand for 30%. You were not in the legislature when some of your colleagues marched onto the Capitol building several times, try pushing for this 30%, women participation in national politics. I saw Clarice Jar many times on the floor of the Senate trying to defend that bill. It didn't work the way they actually wanted the bill to go through. What is your position on that bill?
Well, I support the bill, and I can tell you at the level of the National Legislative Caucus of the women, we are strategizing to come back with that bill. I believe that one of the reasons why the bill did not survive, the bill became too much the women's property. Okay. And in order to be able to pass this bill, there are men who also support women issues that need to get on board.
You think there are men in the legislature that support women?
Yes, there are men that support women issues. There are men that comes around when the Women Legislative Caucus are having their meetings. They are all associate members. And these are the people that you need to speak to. First of all, the bill is about the women, but the bill needs to be sold, sufficiently to the men. And you need to get the men on board to be able to convince their colleagues to see reason to support this bill. But when you become very passionate and selfish with this bill, and you want all of the glory to go to you,
you think it will work?
Yes. So we are strategizing. Like the president said, in order to let this bill goes through, we should go about doing our campaign, our lobby, house to house, door to door. So all of those strategies will be put in place.
But why do you people want 30%?
Well, we believe that women's serviceability is not only in the family, it's not only about raising children, it's not only about being the social committee chairperson in a political party and being the cook or the treasurer in keeping the money. You can also get to the level of the chairmanship of the political party.
I hope to see a woman becoming the speaker of the legislature.
Well, history will record when that time reaches, but I can tell you in the new dispensation of the political corridor that have been opened in Liberia, definitely that plenary will receive a female speaker anytime soon. So I can say that to you because politics is a little bit changing in Liberia. The atmosphere for everyone to be a part of the political process has been
open. To produce president now, in a way.
Yeah, so
probably you can boast now and say you can produce a speaker.
Yeah, I can say that.
And probably the next, at least you've been able to produce chief justice yet, but you haven't been able to produce a speaker. So if you say you can produce a speaker, that's a very huge task for you people.
Well, we're working towards that.
What is this Women Legislative Caucus all about?
Well, the Women Legislative Caucus basically is about bringing the women together, looking at issues that affect women nationwide. Okay. And at the level, putting aside political sentiments, because at a particular point we will disagree. We disagree to agree at one point, but we know that we have a common denominator, and our common denominator is Liberia. So regardless of our political affiliation, we come together and look at issues that affect our constituents in general. And so the Women Caucus now, we try to foster unity, we try to foster making sure that basic social services are being given to our people throughout the length and breadth of the country.
Okay, many times people discussing women issues, they always talking about women, especially for you people. I don't hear most of you people talking about children. You only say, every time you say women participation. I don't hear you talking about children.
When you say children now, because I believe that once you are not of 18, we cannot start pushing you into the corridor of politics.
No, probably not just pushing into politics, but the welfare of children also, not only the welfare of women.
The welfare of children, the parents. The children are well taken care of. You cannot go down, you will have to get the trickle-down effect. You cater to the parents, and then the parents now be independent and having the necessary resources and the basics around them can be able to spread down to their kids.
So in your district specifically, I'd like to know from you, because you said the Women Legislative Caucus is there to seek the welfare of women across Liberia. Now specifically, let's start with your district. What are you doing now and to seek the interests of young women in your district?
Well, the issue of the young women in District Number 9 is a very serious issue. I consider my district to be the red light point.
Why you say that?
What do I mean? So many entertainment centers.
Okay.
So many young people outside at night. Well, for different reasons. And so there's so much that I have to do. They don't see the importance.
Okay.
But when you add a little monetary value to it, when they think about that money, then they try to take it seriously.
I think there are many young women in the district that probably could be on the streets and maybe probably they lack the requisite knowledge and they engage in wholesome practices like prostitution. You think so?
Well, I can't say prostitution. I cannot use the word prostitution because it's too harsh.
Okay.
I can say that they are out there seeking for survival.
Okay.
And then the manner in which they are seeking survival seems to be a problem to society.
Okay.
Yes, that's how I would see that. And I believe that at the level of poverty, in our society is also causing the reason why these young women are seeking survival in the way they are. And so at the level of national government, we all have a role to play in diverting the attention of these young women in the manner in which they are seeking survival to a better way.
Okay, we reached almost the halfway mark of we have Representative Honorable Pena live on Inside. We're discussing women issues. If what you know about women's participation in national politics, specifically in the legislature, what do you think Representative Pena can do to improve the welfare of women in Liberia?